Just want you to know how sorry we are that things got so fucked up with us and Mr. Wallace. When we got into this thing with the best intentions, really. I never...
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
I love Pulp Fiction. And I'm sure anyone who clicked on the video isn't exactly a casual fan either. I'm just saying, it takes a lot to be a relevant movie even after 25 years of existence in the modern era. There's more movies than you can watch now, and keeping a following that resembles a religion isn't easy, especially today for a film. I wasn't sure I was going to make this video because a lot has been said about it and a lot has been disputed about the film on the platform, and also because it's a cliche, but it's hard to resist making it. There's a lot going on in this movie, from the commentary on redemption, respect, chaos, to the narratives of toilet humor, and its importance to human civilization, to the narratives of universe and its indifference to the human horrors. But I know I'm not even going to touch those things, and talk about something only Tarantino talks about in his interviews related to the movie. Part of the reason why Pulp Fiction is so great and feels fresh and new in its formula, even if the stories themselves have been told and retold for years and you've watched the film like 100 times, is because the movie isn't written like a movie, it's written like a book.
When I'm writing, I mean, aside from yeah, for the most part, yeah, I don't think there is a caveat to this. When I'm writing, it's about the page. It's not about the movie. It's not about cinema or anything. It's about the literature of me putting my pen to paper and writing a good page and making it work completely as a literature document on itself. That's my first artistic contribution.
Part of what I mean is hidden in the film's non-linear storytelling structure. The movie tells 3 different stories in 2 hours and 40 minutes, but the division is into 4 parts. There is the prologue, which is divided into 2 parts, one before the title and credits of the movie are shown, and then the part after that, before the next story. The prologue contains 2 separate instances of the 3rd story, and mostly helps us set the tone of the movie. Immediately after the prologue, we have Vincent Vega and Marcellus Wallace's wife, which is a sequence of events that takes place after the 3rd story, whose snippets we just saw in the prologue. This time, we follow the character of Vincent Vega, a heroin addict who came back from Holland and is now taking the wife of a criminal boss to a dinner date. The 2nd story is The Golden Watch, where we follow the sequence of events around the life and story of Butch Coolidge, an old boxer who fixes the last fight he's got in him and double-crosses the fixers, and makes a run with the money. Then trouble occurs when his paramour forgets his familial war watch that a soldier brought home by hiding it up his ass. The final story continues after the prologue and joins part 2 of the prologue to part 1 in the story titled The Bonnie Situation, where Jules and Vincent just had a close encounter with death, and it makes a very big change in Jules' perception of life. Except the tiring morning doesn't want to give him any room to breathe. After they were done with business, a backseat rider gets accidentally shot, and then they get stuck in a restaurant robbery. The movie has completely abandoned the 3-act structure that we are used to for telling this kind of a story, which gives it the freedom to completely immerse ourselves into this world. Each story feels like it could be and is its own thing, and is clubbed with the rest of the movie for the sake of the feature-length film. But Tarantino's practice is a lot more deliberate than that. Think of a story like Cloud Atlas, where the events aren't told in a straight sequence. I believe most writers and now filmmakers use this tool to mimic how human beings remember the events that they come across in their lives. You remember the shocking and situation-defining incidents first, then connect a linear chain to make it the full picture. A book has always the advantage of letting the reader imagine and then immerse himself in the smallest details of the story being told. But not all movies have that kind of a luxury. All movies come with a restriction of time, but in this case, it's a hurdle that this movie crosses gracefully. After the movie, you feel like you spent time with all of the characters in the movie and got to know them for good as well. Part of the reason why that happens is because there are no absolute badasses or absolute losers in the film. Maybe except Brett and his Australian friend. But that kind of identification with characters in movies leads to a deeper and more humane outlook to these people and the situations they find themselves in, which is specifically more likely to happen in a book, but not in a film necessarily.
You know the show's on TV?
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, but you are aware that there's an invention called television, and on this invention they show shows, right?
I have never written a movie in my life. Well, that's not really true. But I am sure all of you would agree that Pulp Fiction is one of the best written scripts in recent memory. Take the conversation about Royale with Cheese and Mia Wallace's pilot. The conversation seems like banter between friends, but it reveals that Vincent is going to take Mia Wallace on a date. Marcellus Wallace is very possessive about Mia, or seemingly so, and that foot massages are a rather sensuous thing. Now, two of those things are subtextual, but they're not at all alone. Subtextual conversation, furthering conversation, and plot is a Tarantino trope. He does it in Inglourious Basterds, Django Unchained, Reservoir Dogs, and of course, in Pulp Fiction. This adds to the book-like structure of the film and helps make it feel a lot more immersive. The conversations in Pulp Fiction are very deliberately worded, but they don't feel that way, and that's what's so fucking cool about them. There's this underlying motive going on, you know it, the characters know it, the scriptwriters know it, and you should know to watch the movie one more time to know better.